Today we're going to be talking about morning routines, and why this is so important is because how we start our day is how we end our day. How we start our day is a tremendous influence on the activities and how we feel throughout the day. And if we can start that with empowerment, with education and freedom, then we're going to be off to a much better start. And the sad issue is that most of us are starting the day off in a disempowered state. We're kind of just confused. Like, we just do some random things, we watch TV. Like, we're not proactive in creating our day. And that's largely a reflection of the results in our life, is how we start our day. So there are certain practices that help us optimize our day, certain practices that help us feel empowered and diligent and just focus throughout the day. And that's what we're going to go through, and how we can kickstart the day with empowerment and just a new way of looking at things. Now, before I get into that, I'm going to talk about the power of habit. Because habit is a very important thing that it's a science to it. Like, we can actually learn how to create habits. And it starts with three things. So, trigger, the activity, and the reward. The trigger is what basically makes us kickstart that habit. So if you're talking about habit stacking, you can talk about, say, if you work out, then that would be a trigger for taking a cold shower, as an example. And the cold shower would be the activity, and the reward would be like the results that you get, how you feel at the end, being more resilient and things like that. Now, we have something in our brain called myelin. Myelin is a fatty sheath that surrounds our neurons in the brain, and this is basically responsible for habit formation. Every time you do a thing, it makes it that much faster. Myelin makes it more memorable, and it just makes things go on automatic. Is basically what that's for. And we can build myelin through diligent practice, deep work. There's the 10,000 hour rule, that has a lot of value, but what's more important than that is just being deeply focused while you work, like being very intentional, being deliberate. Because you can practice 10,000 hours in a very crappy way, and you're not going to get the results that you want. So there's a lot of habits and practices that help you upgrade your work as well. So let's get into the practices that create an empowering day. So number one, we're going to start with drink 16 to 24 ounces of water. Now, this is very important because when we wake up, we're very dehydrated, and drinking water helps with so many things. It's not just about hydration, it's about maintaining our DNA, creating cellular structure, hormones, neurotransmitters, just countless things in our bodies. Like, everything runs on water, and just being dehydrated just a little bit can dramatically impact our cognitive function. So when we do this, it's a good idea to add like salt to the water. It's very good for the adrenal glands and help kickstart everything. So about a half teaspoon to a teaspoon of good high quality salt, like Celtic salt or red mineral salt. That would be a really good idea. So water also helps out with flushing out metabolic waste that we had built up through sleeping. So number two, I'm going to say, is going to be movement. Now, life is movement. We have something in our bodies called the lymphatic system. Now, the lymphatic system doesn't necessarily have a pump and doesn't move unless you move. It's responsible for transporting immune cells throughout the body. It's responsible for cellular waste removal, and we have 4 times more lymph when we do blood. So it's very important to move this around, and it only moves unless we move. So, and also movement is very important for regulating our cortisol, because we know that cortisol is very high in the morning to make us alert, so it just kind of helps balance with that. And also helps generate something called piezoelectricity. Piezoelectricity is a form of energy that our body creates while moving. It's very interesting to think about, like, because when we move, we know we get energized. And this is just, we can do this very simply. We don't have to do a big workout. We can just do like 5-10 minutes of movement, whether it be walking, rebounding on a mini trampoline, or anything you can think of, really. Number 3 on the list is going to be meditation. And meditation can really help us feel grounded and centered. When we wake up, instead of like being all rushed and confused, we can just actually be centered and know what we want, know what our purpose is, know what we're going to do throughout the day. Meditation is essentially brain training, training our mind to be more focused and aware, and it helps regulate cortisol. And the thing about cortisol is it's a detriment to sleep. Like cortisol is the antithesis to melatonin, and melatonin is basically the good sleep hormone. So the higher cortisol is, the lower your melatonin is going to be at night, and vice versa. So starting the day off in a more regulated state is going to help us sleep better at night. Fourth practice here is going to be journaling. Journaling is another way to get us focused throughout the day. There's so many different types of journaling. I personally like to purchase other people's journals, like ready-made journals. John Lee Dumas has some great journals, like a Mastery Journal, Freedom Journal, essentially planning our day, executing on our goals, and just being more focused. We can also do like a freehand and do that as well. Like every year on January, I like do a pretty comprehensive goal setting process. SMART goals, a lot of people know about that. And what I want you to get is there's no right way to journal. Just journal in a way that's an effective and empowering way for you. There's something about putting pen to paper that just anchors you throughout the day. It's not the same as typing. You can do that, but there's just something special about writing pen to paper. It's been shown you get more results that way, and you kind of integrate it in a more balanced way as well. So number 5 on the list is your reading or some form of personal development. When we start the day off with feeding our mind with high quality nutrients, so to speak, like personal development, health, anything that you're interested in the moment, form of podcasts, audiobooks, seminars, whatever it is, just feeding your mind, feeding your spirit, just starting the day off on a good note instead of watching the news per se. We really want to be amplified with that positivity. And the thing about personal development is kind of like investing. The more you do, it's like compound interest. You just get paid more and more dividends as you go on. So I think that'll be good as well. Number 6 is going to be fortify your health. The first thing that you take in throughout the day is going to have a profound impact on your health because it's like a clean slate, it's a clean system. You don't have anything in there. It's so everything that you can take in is going to be a little more amplified, if that makes sense. So starting the day off with some type of tea infusion. Something I do is medicinal mushrooms or functional mushrooms. So these have been used for thousands of years. So chaga, cordyceps, reishi, lion's mane, all these things. And what people don't realize is that medication is usually based in nature. And 40% of the medication is actually mushroom based. So that's a pretty big number. And the thing about medication is that they chemically alter it and they isolate the compounds. So that's why they have different effects and you get side effects and all that. But let's take chaga, for example. It's grown in Siberia, North America, and it's been shown to increase our NK cells, our natural killer cells, upwards of 300%. So basically, this is like immune system training. These immune system weapons that go out and take out all these pathogens that we don't want in our bodies. And chaga is a very potent source of melanin as well, that antioxidant found in our skin. We can find that in chaga. So that's really interesting as well. Superoxide dismutase. So essentially helping our bodies to create their own antioxidants, which is going to be more powerful than any type of antioxidant I would take in externally. The thing about free radicals is that they require antioxidants in order to be neutralized, because a free radical essentially is a unpaired electron, and an antioxidant is a free electron. So they kind of come together to neutralize that free radical. And so that's another interesting point. And you can mix things up, do things seasonally. I want to just do one thing every day of the year. Just gonna switch things up based on your goals and something to like cut the bitterness of these teas. A lot of them are very bitter. You can add some type of fat to it, like a MCT oil, coconut oil, butter, uh, ghee, whatever your favorite is. So let's talk about how to customize all these in a way that works for you. Like you don't have to do all of these. You don't have to. You can like do what works and discard the rest. So I would schedule it so you can know when you're gonna do it. Know how long it's gonna be. Maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour. Uh, so another thing you can do is combine these practices, like while you're journaling or reading, maybe drink your superfood tea at the same time. One point I would like to make about grabbing your phone first thing in the morning is that this often can set us up in a stress state or a distracted state, and we're on our emails and now we're going down these things all we have to do, and essentially putting our goals on the back burner. We're not starting the day off in an empowered state. Like when we start off the day doing all these empowerment practices, we're going to be much more equipped to be the greatest version of ourselves and help others in the process, which is what it's all about. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.